In our last lesson, we looked at word choice and diction that the author uses in order to create messages and create the tone of the piece. This lesson we'll take a look at the syntax of a piece. And syntax is the sentence structure that an author uses in order to put the scene together. So basically, syntax is how the words are placed in a sentence, in a paragraph, how those paragraphs are arranged on a page, and how the passages are arranged in a longer text like a novel. Syntax is important for 3 reasons. Number 1, it directs the readers through the passage, and so it helps them get from point A to point B to point C. Reason number 2, sentences impact the pace of the passage. You can, through the types of sentences an author uses, can make a scene go fast or slow, which impacts the message. As you guys can probably guess, you'd want to use faster sentences in a scene like action, where you want to make things move a lot faster. You want it to feel like the reader is almost losing their breath. Whereas you'd want a slower scene if you have some description, you have more complicated text, and you want to slow things down so that meaning or comprehension isn't lost. Our third reason is that by placing words in a certain order, or repeating them, or placing sentences and paragraphs in a certain order, it gives emphasis to ideas. So if we see repetition, we're going to assume that whatever word is being repeated, or if a fragment's being used, that single idea is important to the text. Common syntax structures that you guys should know about. The first one is periodic. Periodic means the most important idea comes at the end. So you have a word at the end of a sentence that is important to the meaning of the text. Loose sentence structure is the opposite, where the most important idea comes early in the sentence and the remaining sentence unfolds loosely. So you have whatever idea is important, and then you have some descriptive ideas that come after it. Many of you have already heard of parallel structure. Basically, parallel structure means that we have sentences that have equal parts grammatically, and so they balance each other out. They're also called balanced sentences. We also use repetition in syntax structures. As we said before, we repeat key phrases and words to create emphasis. We hear this in Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, "I have a dream." And then the last type of sentence structure we'll talk about are just the different types of sentences. So having simple, compound, complex sentences creates not only sentence variation, but can also create emphasis to certain ideas or key thoughts in the sentence. The 3 P's of syntax are important. We have prominence. So as we said before, by the placement of the sentence, or by the placement of the words in the sentence, we can have emphasis. So we have maybe intentional fragments to give an idea some impact. We also have position. Position is where in the sentence the idea is located, so that would be your periodic and loose sentences. And then pace, as we talked about before, pace will help us get through a scene faster or slower depending on what the author wants. So those action scenes versus the longer description scenes, and that creates those types of effects.